Building a family can be a complicated, messy, lonely, and sometimes heartbreaking process. But you don't have to navigate this challenging journey alone.
Welcome to the AllPaths podcast, where we support and celebrate all of the different ways there are to try to grow your family. We're your hosts, Lauren and Emily, from the nonprofit organization AllPaths Family Building. And today we're talking with Kallie about her journey. Kallie, thank you for joining us today.
Hi, thank you for having me.
We're excited to talk with you. And before we get into your story, we'd love for you to introduce yourself to our listeners.
So my name is Kallie. I am a part-time baker right now, enjoying photography on the side. I have two daughters. One is 7 and one is 5, and I both went through infertility treatments to have.
Great. So can you tell us a bit about your journey to starting a family? Where did it all begin?
So I met my husband when I was younger. He was my next door neighbor.
Oh, the boy next door?
He was, yes. We eloped in New Hampshire in 2016. Kind of started trying to have a family right after, shortly. Tried for a few years. Everything seemed to kind of stop. We weren't sure what was happening. Was it me? Was I doing something wrong? So I had checked in with my doctor. I was having some pain, so I went to go check in with her, and we were kind of just chatting. And she had asked me if I was, trying to have a baby. And at first I was like, I think so.
Casually.
I think so. So she referred me to an infertility specialist. This was back in 2018.
Mhm.
Met with my fertility specialist. He kind of educated us on some common factors of, why couples struggle trying to conceive. There's male factors, there's female factors. It could be both. It could be one or the other. So we both went through some testing. My husband, Matt, he went through his testing for like sperm count and things like that. He was all checked out. He was good. And then when I went through my testing, I did some blood work. I don't know how to pronounce it, but I did an I think it was HSG test.
Histosonogram. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yes.
Had a few of those myself.
Yes. Not the best.
No, whoever said that they are not painful is lying.
Lies.
Yeah. I had a vasovagal response at least once. Yeah.
Oh,
not good.
Not fun. Everything kind of checked out except for in my blood work. It had shown that I had a low egg count for my age. At the time, I was about like 24, 25, and I had the egg count of someone in their 50s. And he said there's a lot of reasons why, that might happen, genetics, things like that. But he thought it was because when I was 16, I had gone on birth control and had been on birth control since. So with that being said, he wanted to try just going through with the inseminations, the IUI. And I also had irregular periods. I would get my period every 6 weeks instead of 4. And like I would get them every 6 weeks, and then it would be like 2 weeks long. Like it was very erratic, which I think is why they put me on birth control when I was younger, because I've always had super irregular periods. So we did the insemination. I had to take Clomid to kind of help regulate my cycle a little bit, so it would happen every 4 weeks. Kind of help set my body up to ovulate. So I did the Clomid, and then I did the ACG shot, the trigger shot. But I went in through monitoring through the whole time, checked how my lining was, my follicles, how they were maturing, and everything like that. Did the insemination. The first time did not work, which I was devastated because I was like, how can this not work? Like everything was set up, everything looked so good, so promising. I had, I think the first time I tried it, had 2 mature eggs. Like it just seemed everything to line up. It was actually kind of interesting to be able to monitor that whole process, see how like your lining is, see how many follicles you have, how many eggs get matured, all that. So it was very actually kind of interesting going through it. But then when I had gotten the result, I remember being so devastated because I was like, how can this not work? Like everything was lined up how it was supposed to be. And I remember being really devastated. So we went in again. We did another cycle right afterwards. And that's how I had Violet. He's my oldest. I had a little bit of a traumatic birth with her, and I had postpartum depression, which I kind of think was lingered, like emotions from the infertility treatments kind of going into it.
Yeah.
And then about a year after I had Violet, which is when the pandemic started, because I had Violet in 2019.
Right.
And the world stopped. It was crazy. But something just told me to kind of check in with my doctor when they started taking appointments again. And he was actually surprised to see me so soon. He was like, oh, I'm happy to see you, but just, I didn't think it would be so soon. But something just told me to go check in with him because my egg count was already so low. So I was like, how fast is this diminishing for me? Are my egg counts going like a couple of years down the road, like, quickly diminishing, or is this over like a long period of time? So I went to go check with him. Matt couldn't come with me because they weren't allowing spouses at the time, which was really hard. I was already kind of like struggling with the postpartum, still healing from that. And I couldn't wrap around trying to have another baby, but I know I really wanted at least a second one. He was like, totally fine. We'll do some blood work. We'll check your numbers, see how you are doing. He was like, but I am going to warn you that, if the numbers don't look great, that I wouldn't wait. And I was like, okay, yeah, no problem. Sure. So we did the blood work, and my egg count had actually gone down quite a bit, even just that year. Which I was like, oh my goodness, like I can't believe how bad my numbers have gotten in just a year. So the nurse on the phone was, she was like, I wouldn't wait. She's like, you can wait if you'd want to, of course. But she was like, the longer you wait, it might be even harder than the last time. So I gave myself a few weeks to kind of like process everything. I was like, this seems so overwhelming. Already having a 1-year-old during the pandemic, this seems like the worst possible time to try to have a second one. But I feel like that was my only time to really have another baby. So we did the same procedure, the IUI, the Clomid, the trigger shot. Same thing, the first rounds did not work. And I actually had written this in the blog post that I did, that my second cycle that I was going to do almost didn't happen because the insurance guy that was handling my claim was on vacation.
Oh, come
So
on.
yeah, so everything is so timed with treatments, which I think a lot of people don't realize. It's
Right.
very like down to the T when you're supposed to take the medication, when you're supposed to go for the monitoring. It's so strict. So
If there are delays in insurance approval, then you're delayed a whole cycle. I
yes, which is
understand that.
devastating because
Yes.
even though that only sounds like 4 weeks, it's like you just wanna figure this out. You just want
Right.
to try and try again. So I was supposed to go in for monitoring my cycle day 1, I believe. And just to make sure, confirm that I wasn't pregnant, check how my uterus was, how everything was, to start the next cycle. But that's what didn't get approved yet because the guy was on vacation. So I don't know what happened, if it like slipped through or who was managing his claims, but no one had approved it that day. And it was the end of the day. It was maybe like 4 or 5 o'clock. The doctor's office was even closing soon. So I had called them because I was supposed to take the Clomid on a certain cycle day, but I couldn't take the Clomid unless I did the monitoring. So I called and cried a lot. The nurse was absolutely amazing. I'm sure she's understood, we know what's going on. And it was actually kind of nice because she wasn't very pushy. She was supportive. She knew I was just having a moment, frustration and sadness. And she kind of just stood there on the phone with me. She didn't say anything, but I feel like just her listening was
Yeah,
It
that's so
really helped
rare.
me get through that moment of like panic.
Mm.
Mhm.
So she talked to the doctor, and I don't know what they did on their end, but it did get approved. I had
Amazing.
to wait one day, but he said it was okay to wait the one day. So
Oh, good.
thankfully that cycle was able to be saved,
Good.
which resulted in my younger daughter, Ivy.
Wow.
Yes. It was a very um it's a very emotional roller coaster.
Mm.
Constantly ups and downs. I feel like going through infertility treatments, you have just a little tiny bit of good news and you just hold on to that news
Mm-hmm.
so much to your heart that you're like, this
Mm-hmm.
is gonna happen, this is gonna work, like this is the light that I needed, and then
Mm-hmm.
it just quickly turns around within a few hours.
Right. The roller coaster is
Draining.
constantly up and down, and we're climbing again, and now we're falling again. And can we pick ourselves back up?
Yes, it's very
Yeah.
draining to try to, keep up with the emotions because they're so up and down. And on top of it, you're taking all this medication, which
Right.
is going
Mhm.
to heighten your emotions anyways and your hormones and everything like that.
Yeah. So it sounds like that nurse was a rock star, just being
Mm.
there, giving you that
She
space that you
was.
needed to freak out about everything.
She
Yes.
was. And this was after hours. By the time I
Wow.
finally got someone on the phone, someone, the receptionist was able to have the nurse call back. This was after hours, and she just stayed on the phone
Wow.
with me. So she was
Oh, that's
definitely a
amazing.
rock star.
These are the nurses we need in fertility
Yeah.
Yes,
care. I want to give her a hug.
absolutely.
We'll
Me
give her
too.
a gold star.
So, where did you get support while you went through all this? Was it friends, family, community, elsewhere? Who were your people?
So a little bit of both. I felt like when I very first started, this infertility journey, I was almost like ashamed. I don't know if ashamed is the right word, but I almost felt like I had to keep it in. Like it
Mhm.
was wrong for me to talk about. It was super personal. It just didn't feel right to talk about. And so I went through my very first cycle that didn't work with Violet.
Mhm.
I didn't really talk about it much with anybody. And then when I actually had found out about the whole birth control, kind of like quickly posted a blurb on my personal Facebook, like, hey, this is what's happening. I can't believe this. And that kind of really got the ball rolling for like community. I couldn't believe how many friends had been going through the same thing. People I haven't talked to in years, but still follow them on Facebook, were reaching out to me saying that they were going through the same thing. They felt so lost. They didn't know where to go. And I felt it kind of uplifting to kind of talk to other people that were going through the same thing. Family was very supportive once they kind of found out what I was going through. Because, people kind of tease you, like, oh, when you're having a kid, you know,
Mhm.
and they don't really realize how hurtful that might be for somebody who has been silently trying,
Mm.
um,
Yeah.
and not quite getting there. So it was kind of nice to open up and them come back and apologize, like, I'm so sorry. And you're just like, no, it's,
Mm.
silent struggles, but we're getting there. We're pushing through. I've had a couple friends come with me to appointments. If my husband was working and couldn't take the time off, I had actually a few friends come with me to my appointments for monitoring or,
Well, that's
kind
awesome.
of check things. Yeah, it was actually really nice to have, just someone there to maybe not even talk about what's going on in the room, just to
Mhm.
be there and be like, I'm here when you need me. And that's
Yeah.
was really strengthening for me at those times that, so obviously my husband's going to be supportive of me and, my parents and my brother, but to have a friend be like, well, I'm also with you too. Like, I don't know what you're going through, but I will help you get through it, which I felt like really helped me.
Yeah. That's really lovely too. I can almost imagine having someone who's not as emotionally invested as you are could be like a nice balance. And just
Yes.
think like all the appointments that my husband was able to come to, which was like 99% of them. Like
Yeah.
you're not necessarily there as a support person. You're both really amped and anxious about everything. So I can see where it could be really nice to have somebody who's just there for you. They're not necessarily invested in the outcome or the information that you're getting in the same way that you are or your partner might be.
Yeah. Yeah. It was definitely really nice. And even, I feel like, every time you go to your appointments, you talk with your doctor. When you're not at the doctor's, it's almost like you don't always want to talk about it. You need like
Mm,
an emotional
Yeah.
break. And
Yeah.
it's kind
right.
of nice to just call that friend and be like, how was your day?
Right.
Mhm.
Let's talk about something other than medications and schedules and balancing.
Mm. So, Callie, as you reflect back on your family building journey, what were the most challenging moments that stick out to you? Anything other than the obvious, setbacks?
I definitely think the life balance when it comes to treatments.
Hmm.
You, still want to have a somewhat normal social life outside of treatments. And sometimes that's like extremely overwhelming, because you want to be
Mm.
positive and uplifting and still want to enjoy things. And I feel like looking back on it now, when I was going through treatments, it was like tunnel vision. Like you
Mm,
just were in a tunnel and you just wanted a light at the end of the road, any type of light, that everything else on the outside, it was really hard for me to enjoy.
mhm,
Any very simple thing, I just was so depressed at one point. It was hard for me to enjoy anything. So that was quite challenging trying to, be the wife that I wanted to be, the friend that I wanted to be, the daughter that I wanted to be. It was hard trying to balance that, trying to be the employee that I wanted to be because I was also working full time
mhm.
and I was working third shift. So
Oh,
it
wow.
was
Stuff.
it was very hard to balance that, especially when I was going through treatments,
Hmm.
when I was doing my insemination and they had to do like monitoring appointments and you didn't know when you had to go back. So it was hard to
Right.
schedule that with work. Like, hey, I have to leave early this day because I have to go to a doctor's appointment.
Hmm.
Um, and it came to a point where my manager was like, okay, you need to file for FMLA so that, you won't get like written up or anything for all these absences. So I had to file for FMLA and he was super supportive. He helped me through the whole thing. But because I was working third shift, I was always working in the morning. And they did the monitoring appointments between 7 and 9 a.m. before
Mhm.
they started like their normal day of appointments. So I'd have to stop what I was doing, leave for 2 hours, and then go back, which is challenging when you're a baker because you
Yeah.
know what's going in the oven, what's in the
Right.
mixer.
What did you miss? Yeah.
Yeah. So when I was going through Violet, I feel like I put a lot of pressure on myself. I had to
Mm,
be this amazing employee. I had to constantly meet these expectations of everybody while struggling emotionally for myself. It was very overwhelming. It was very draining. Um, so with Ivy, I actually just took the time off from work. Like, listen, I understand. I'll come in earlier and just work a straight half a day and be done for the rest of the day because I have a toddler at home.
mm,
The
Yeah.
pandemic is happening. It was just too much mental load for me.
yeah.
Um, so definitely balancing the treatments, the schedule, and just your life, just
Hmm.
being human.
Right.
It was very
Yeah.
challenging, I would say.
Right. Yeah, like life still happens and is still difficult outside of what you're experiencing, the difficulties of your own journey. So it's juggling all of that. That is really difficult.
And I didn't want to, like I said, I wanted to be the best employee that I could be. I didn't want to have to, because if I'm leaving early, that puts a lot of extra work onto my
Mm,
coworkers, my teammates, and then I would feel bad and I would feel anxious about like, oh, I mixed this, but I can't put it in the oven. Can you do the rest for me?
Mm.
right.
So a lot of pressure, a lot of pressure.
But
Yeah.
it sounds like the journey to your second, you had more information to be able to care for yourself better and manage the process in a way that was a little easier. Not that it was easy.
I was also trying to save, because I had already applied for the FMLA for my second one, so I was already set up for when I was time to do the monitoring and the treatments.
Good.
But I didn't want to use up all my time either,
Mm,
Mhm.
because right now Connecticut has a paid FMLA, but back then they didn't start that yet. So anytime I was taking off, I was using my PTO, I was using my sick
Yeah.
time, my vacation time, and I was like, well, hopefully when I do get pregnant, I don't want to wipe out all of my time for when the baby comes.
Right. You want it then
So,
Right.
too.
so by the time, thankfully I got pregnant and I had Ivy, I didn't have as much time to take on maternity leave. But it's one of those things like the balance, there has to be balance somewhere. I need a
Right.
little bit of a break during the treatments to get
Hmm.
there. So that
Right.
was hard trying to figure out that financially too. So I took
Yeah.
off 12 weeks after I had Ivy, and I think I only got paid for maybe two.
Oh, wow.
So,
I'm sorry.
so financially, it was a struggle because I used
Another
up
big
my
hit.
time. Yeah,
Right.
Yeah.
absolutely.
So I know you mentioned a little bit about what pregnancy and birth and postpartum were like with Violet. What was your experience with Ivy?
Ivy was a little different. I didn't so much have the postpartum, I feel like. It was definitely stressful with the pandemic happening. A lot of doctor's appointments, they would only allow me and Ivy to go in. So I had to find childcare for Violet. Nat couldn't come with me. So it was challenging in that way. But I don't know if I was like more prepared for what was to come. And I was so afraid to get postpartum again because that was a very hard time for me. But I communicated with Matt very well before I even had Ivy. Like, these are my triggers that I think kind of started the postpartum. I actually didn't even know that I had postpartum depression with Violet. It was her pediatrician that had kind of noticed it. I think for her 5 or 6 month appointment, she kind of pulled me to the side and talked to me about it and kind of set me up with a perinatal therapist and kind of worked on that. Yeah, so she gets a gold
That's-
star too.
Yeah,
Violet's
definitely.
pediatrician.
Yes. Well,
I
that's the
mean, that
Um,
is
thing.
supposed to be part of well child screening within the first
Yes.
year of life. It's not
Yes.
just for the baby. It's there to,
Right.
part of their role is there to support you as a new parent. So that's really wonderful that
Right.
they picked up on that.
And they're the ones that are getting eyes on mom and baby more than anyone else.
Oh, 100%.
So,
Yeah.
and
yeah,
people don't realize that, postpartum depression, anxiety, and other mood disorders are more common after 6 months when people aren't checking
absolutely.
on you anymore. You have less support. Things are still hard, but you're more likely to slip through the cracks in that second half of the
Yeah.
first year. So, I'm so glad you got support then.
Yeah. Yeah, it was nice. This was in New Haven, so she kind of like gave me a list of like some common prenatal therapists that she knew kind of around the area. And I had reached out whoever was in for my insurance who are accepted my insurance. And I feel like that therapist really focused on the lingering infertility emotions. Your hormones don't really balance out for a while after you have a child. So, trying to really focus on finding who I was again um, after everything, because I feel like being in that tunnel and then being pregnant and then having a traumatic birth and then having a baby, I never had time to process everything.
I was just
Yeah.
talking about this.
That was
Yes.
I think my biggest thing that I kind of realized years later was that I never allowed myself to just be human, to just
Well, you don't have
process
time,
everything. Yes.
right? You're in survival mode kind of chronically through
Yep.
treatment. And then if you're, lucky enough to then have a baby after treatment, you're then in survival mode of parenting a newborn and then an infant. And when is there time to process any of this journey and all of the hard things you've been through?
Yes.
And sometimes the hormones catch up with you, right? And they make you
Definitely.
deal.
I think one of the biggest things too, when I was having Ivy, that I kind of realized the first time with Violet was I always felt like I couldn't be stressed out having a baby because I should just be lucky to have a baby.
Mm,
Which I feel like though that's like that
so common.
leftover infertility emotions. So like I can't be sad. I shouldn't be upset that I'm tired, that I've only had 2 hours of sleep last night, that, XYZ. I can't have any of these emotions that a normal parent would have after having a baby and a newborn because I should just be grateful that I even have the newborn. So
Right. I can't complain about my miracle. Right.
Yeah.
Yes.
exactly. Actually, after I had Ivy, I think is when they started that Connecticut paid
Mm,
leave. And I had quickly just like posted something online like, oh, I wish I had that when I was going through this whole thing. And
It makes a big difference.
yeah, and someone had commented on my post like, oh, well, you should just be happy that you got the baby. And I was taken
Not
back.
helpful. Not helpful.
Not helpful.
No.
No longer talk to said person.
Wow.
Good.
I feel like that was my growth from Violet to Ivy, was that I just don't need someone, maybe they don't realize how much that can affect somebody, just a comment like that in the passing.
Right.
Because, I should be upset that I had no time after I had
Right.
Ivy, because I used up all my time during the fertility treatments that I struggled financially for a couple months. But yeah, it's just one of those things that a normal parent or a normal couple would, have normal frustrations, but I felt like I shouldn't even be worrying about that because I have the baby, which I was super grateful for.
Of course.
But I think going into Ivy, I kind of realized those triggers.
Yeah.
I should stop. I should process this. I should understand what I'm actually feeling and take the time. But I need to process that for sure.
Yeah.
That's so important. I think you're right. There is this narrative that as parents after infertility or after loss or other family building challenges, that like there's already that pressure to like quote unquote love every minute when you have young kids. And as a parent after all of that, it's even more of a weight that you're like, I can't admit that I'm struggling or that I don't love every minute of it. Like I really don't love it in the middle of the night when I'm sleep deprived and covered in poop and this small human is screaming like that. What is there to love in that moment? I'm so grateful and I'm so appreciative of the fact that I have my children, but like I don't love that moment. And it's so hard to say that out loud sometimes when the messaging that you're getting from, the broader culture, or also individual people is like, well, this is what you wanted, right? Like, shut up, be happy.
And you're already wrestling with that in your own head. And then to have someone say it out loud makes you question everything. I'm like, oh, I do need to be quiet and stuff this down. And, it's just so unhelpful. And man, you work so hard to have these kids, but then you're in the trenches and it's incredibly hard and you need support. You don't need to be gaslit about being grateful.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. So now your girls, you said, are 5 and 7. How are you feeling about your journey and parenting after infertility, where you sit today with kids that are bigger, getting bigger?
I have found that I actually quit my full-time job.
Good for you.
Yeah, it was not the easiest. But I've been really enjoying motherhood now.
That's
And
great.
when I was working third shift at the job, they're very strict on me changing my schedule so I can bring my oldest to pre-K. They were very strict on not helping me out with that. So I had actually just woke up one day and I'm like, this is not it. I didn't work this hard and this extra hard to have these lovely, beautiful, healthy girls to not be able to bring them to school because my job's making it hard for me. So I actually had quit my full-time job and I work part-time now. Well, my husband, he still works full-time. And I've just been enjoying what I can with them. The days that I have off, I just, even if it's the day outside by the pool, just kind of stop and, enjoy the breeze, enjoy touching grass. And really, really just enjoy it. I feel like sometimes people take for granted having kids. And I understand everyone's not financially able to work part-time or stay at home or anything like that. But I wanted a little bit more for my kids. I wanted it more for me, honestly. When I was with Violet, the first year of her life, I felt like I was so absent mentally. Postpartum depression, going back to work, working third shift. I just felt like I was missing out on so much. And I worked so hard to get there to like have my family.
Yeah.
That I've just been enjoying spending time with them.
That's wonderful.
That's really wonderful. And it can be for you, right? Like your journey to parenthood affects your experience of parenthood,
Yes.
and you deserve to have that be a positive experience after all the hardships you went through to get there.
Well, and another thing that you're now spending your time on is helping other people who are still going through fertility and family building challenges. Can you talk a little bit about what you're doing to connect with folks now?
So after I had Violet and was working up to have Ivy, I actually kind of sat back when I was kind of struggling already with working full time and going to work after the pandemic and everything like that. I was super grateful for the support system that I had. Medically, I was very blessed with the doctors and the support staff that I had. Um, Even just besides that little hiccup with my insurance, um, I was super grateful for the insurance that I have and the financial support that they gave me because a lot of insurances don't cover. They don't cover treatments, monitoring, and prescriptions, and it definitely adds up. And I was very overwhelmed by how appreciative I was of that I had that for me. And I just wanted to give back as much as I could, even if it was just to listen to somebody who didn't have that friend to come with them to the appointment like I did. I just really anything that I could, I wanted to help out. I didn't really find too much around me locally that I could help. And then I got busy with Ivy having her pandemic. And then after I had her, I actually had found you guys. And I was so excited. I was so excited that I could do literally anything to help someone else going through their journey. Um, Everyone's journey is so personal. It's so different from one another. And I just felt like it doesn't matter what journey everyone's going through, they always need someone to listen.
Yes.
Not even that, like that nurse that was on the phone with me for half an hour after closing. Sometimes you don't need someone to talk back. You just need someone to just listen to you
Be
cry for
there.
15 minutes. The
Mm-hmm.
frustrations, the letting out all the emotions
Yes.
really helps you just get through that moment. Because the
Mm.
moments are going to happen. That's part of being human. You're going to have the emotional outbursts, or you might be at work and you feel like so overwhelmed you just need a good cry for 10 minutes. And that's okay. And that's
Yeah.
okay. I really felt like I
Yes.
wanted to help other people like that as well. And even after I had talked about it more with my journey, especially after Ivy, I had a few people reach out and be like, "Oh, I'm going through the same thing," and I'm like, "Oh, I found this amazing nonprofit organization where they host, support groups, even just a support group, just to go to, just to listen and be like, okay, I'm not crazy for having all these
Mm-hmm.
crazy emotions." um,
Right.
I think it really matters in your journey. Just even a total stranger who's not in your immediate circle, just to
Hmm.
listen to for sure.
There's nothing like it. There's nothing like it. And it's as like you said, as personal and unique as everyone's journeys are, there's so much that we have in common with what we're feeling and what we're struggling with that really bonds us together and can make the biggest difference in getting through the day-to-day struggles.
Absolutely, absolutely.
And while we're very sorry that you didn't find us when you were going through your own journey, but we're really happy that you're part
Yes.
of our community now
Yeah,
and,
yes,
helping us help all these
Right.
people who are out there who, just need somebody to listen and to validate what they're going through.
Right.
absolutely.
Yeah. One of our biggest goals is to have people find us sooner, when they're
Mhm.
first starting their journeys,
Yeah,
not, can we hold people throughout their journeys, not at the tail end or after the fact.
Absolutely.
So one of the ways that we're so grateful for your help, Callie, is that you have been on our walk ambassador team for our flagship annual event. Our Footsteps for Family Building Walk is every October, and our incredible walk ambassadors, including Callie, help us spread the word about the walk. They represent the organization and our goals and help us get the word out about our programming and why this fundraiser is so integral to our organization. So thank you, Kallie. Do you want to tell us a little bit about your role as a walk ambassador?
Sure. As a walk ambassador, I think definitely spreading the word so that everyone can know about this amazing event. This community-driven, just super supportive walk. Whether you're at the beginning of your journey, in the middle of your journey, at the end of your journey, doesn't matter what part of the journey you're in, just finding the people that you can talk to and listen to, I think it's just amazing. It's just amazing to really, educate people about this event, just the organization in general, and how much support that they offer. I think it's just so amazing.
Thanks. I think I remember one of the first walks that I went to. It was after we were done building our family, and I had been leading groups for a while and loved that. But those are on a much smaller scale. But when you're going to an event like a walk and you're seeing hundreds of people around you who all have this in common, I think it wasn't until then that I really honestly, and that was, I mean, I'm not going to say the number of years because it's gives away how old I am. No, years after my own kids were born, looking at these people and be like, I still didn't really get it until this moment that I was not alone.
Yes.
And beyond the, support groups, beyond the friends and family that we had support us, like seeing that the sheer number of people who were connected to this community was, mind blowing.
It's inspirational for everybody. If you have gone through it, the inspiration of like, oh my goodness, I can't believe the community that has all different lives, all different journeys have come together for this one day to just inspire and support each other is amazing.
Yeah, it's like, look at us. Holy cow.
It's uplifting. It makes you want to just do more.
Yes.
Inspire more.
And like you said way at the beginning where you felt like almost ashamed or like this wasn't something you could just talk about out loud, like to see all those people.
Oh my gosh.
In public being like, this isn't some secret that I need to be embarrassed about this being part of our story. Like, no, this is something that happened. We need to celebrate it.
Oh my God, me too.
Yeah.
Yes, that's what knocked me flat. Yeah, similarly, my very first walk, my first child was only 18 months old. I just started leading support groups and I had a lot of shame as well. I didn't think we needed to tell anyone we were doing treatment. And then, of course, it took a lot longer and we ended up having to. But that first walk experience, when I saw people wearing IVF parent shirts, I was like, oh my gosh, that's allowed. And look how beautiful it is. Look how proud they are. Of course, this is something that should be celebrated. And we're all
together. Me too.
Yes, the scale, like you mentioned, the scale of it, Emily. Like obviously there's something so powerful and intimate and supportive about being in a support group, but being at this event with hundreds of people, you don't feel alone, and you don't feel like in a real way, in a tangible way, beyond that, warm hug of a support group. This walk is like, I don't even know how to describe it. It's beyond a warm hug. It really is an infusion of hope and care and support on a different level to look around and say, wow, this feels good. And not a lot of our journey has felt good, but this feeling I want to hold forever.
Yeah, absolutely. It just brings everyone together. Everyone from different states, from different jobs, from different journeys is just a really good spot to just support each other.
Look at all these warriors in one place.
Yes, exactly.
Yes.
So if anybody listening wants to get that warm hug, either metaphorically or we're very open to giving hugs.
Free hugs. Free hugs.
Check out the website. Yeah. We'd love to have you come walk with us.
Come find your people. Come walk with us. You're not alone, whether you come alone or with a crew. We'd love to have you.
So, Kallie, as we wrap up, and we might have kind of just talked about this, what is one thing that you would say to somebody who is just starting to grow their family?
It is okay to be human. It is
Yes.
okay. It is okay to go through your journey. It's okay to take the time that you need. It's okay to find the support that you need, to reach out to anybody within your circle, out of your circle. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay to be emotional. It's okay to just be human.
Oh,
I love
I
that.
love that so much.
Yes, permission to be human. We shouldn't have to give it, but it is
Exactly.
something people need to hear.
You lose yourself in that tunnel, just finding that light, and it's okay to find yourself again. It's okay to take off time when you need to cancel those plans and stay inside with the book. It's okay. It's okay if you want to go out too. It's okay.
There are no rules. It's all okay.
Exactly.
Yes. So the other question we like to ask all of our guests is, how can someone show up for a friend or family member who is struggling to build their family?
I think showing up for somebody doesn't always mean physically showing up for somebody. I think, like we had talked about at the beginning, just being there to listen to somebody, not so much talking, just to have them talk about how they're feeling, validating their feelings, even if you don't quite understand. Um, like going through infertility treatments is emotionally confusing. You don't quite know how to explain in words how you feel. So just having someone to be there to grab a coffee with and just listen, or if someone called you and just be like, listen about my day and not say anything, just to listen, I think is the best support that you can give somebody.
Completely agree.
Love it. Well, thank you, Kallie, so much for, I mean, obviously for coming on and sharing your story and talking with us today, but for everything else that you're doing and for being one of our people. We're so happy, like I said,
Yes.
that you did find
Thank
us
you.
eventually.
Thank you for being my
Right.
people.
Yes. We're grateful to have you. You know, an honor to hear your story, and thank you again for sharing it and for all the work you do for our community.
Thank you.
And we'll see you in October.
Woo woo! See you on the walk.
Thank you for listening. We'll see you next week with more family building stories and resources. Be sure to subscribe wherever you listen to podcasts so that you never miss an episode. And follow us on social media at AllPathsFB or visit our website, allpathsfb.org, to learn more about our work. And please help spread the word so that anyone who is struggling to grow their family can join the conversation. AllPaths Family Building is so grateful to the members of our circle of support. And today we want to recognize and thank Fertility Centers of New England, a first fertility center. Your partnership is vital to our ability to provide emotional support, education, and advocacy that is open to anyone who is struggling to grow their family. And to the entire AllPaths community, thank you for being here. It's an honor to walk with you on your journey.